Coming up on Rusty Cooley's Guitar Asylum TV. Rusty meets up with the guys from Periphery and talks technique. Then, warm up your fingers, it's time to enter trade school for Rusty's masterclass. All that plus Mike Ned and scenes from the damn show floor. Only on the craziest place for the musically insane.
Alright, today we are hanging out with Alex, Misha, and Jake from Periphery. What's up,
hey,
dudes?
Rusty, man.
Hey, man.
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
I want a handshake also.
Let's do it.
Also.
All right.
Powers are being
Let's
transferred into my hand. Now I can play guitar.
Awesome. So, how long you guys been together?
Like 5 years. 5 years at this point. Started about 2005. A lot of lineup changes since, but yeah, 5 years total and to get to this point.
Okay. So, one of the big things is you guys are 3 guitar player band. That's pretty incredible. That's a lot of egos in one room.
So a lot of you. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
So, did you guys start off as a 3-player guitar player band? Was it one
No.
guy, and then you said let's try 2?
What
was the process?
It was me and Alex at first, and I was actually on drums back in the day because we couldn't find a drummer. But I was not good enough to play drums. So the idea was like when I would play guitar, I'd be the 3rd guitarist because we started running into these problems where we kept on having to cut parts out. Like when we write sort of compositionally, just like to make the best song possible, and not really with any regard for how to play it live, which is really kind of stupid. But like, and it ends up creating a lot of problems. This is why we bring like 12 guitars to every show for all the tunings and everything, and why we have 3 guitars, and we still need backing tracks because there are times when even 3 guitars is not enough. So
Right.
So it was just because we're approaching everything compositionally to create like songs that we thought would be awesome, and really not thinking about like, well, how are we gonna pull it off live?
Gotcha. Now, is there any specific way you guys decide who's going to do what?
Basically, we just try to split it up. Like, there's no one guitarist who has any one role. Like, everybody has rhythms. Everyone has like clean parts and ambient parts, and everyone has leads.
Gotcha.
Usually,
so it's all pretty even.
yeah, we try to split it up. Like, I tend to do more of the like solo style leads just because I write them. And like that would just make sense there. But like, there are a bunch of leads that like I give out to the rest of the guys too, just so that everyone can
We use each other's strengths and weaknesses to figure out which parts we're gonna play.
Right.
Like we all have a certain style that we bring to the band, so that will be used when it comes to divvying up the parts.
Right.
It kind of just works out. We never really like argue much about it.
Right.
It just really sort of.
That's
falls
awesome.
into
That
place.
makes it easy because I
It makes it a lot
imagine it
easier.
could be a big.
It could be if everyone in the band had like egos about that stuff, it could be. But it's really just like whatever we are. Our golden rule is whatever sounds best when it comes to just about anything. So once again, in the live context, it's like, if we're trying riffs out and we find out, well, if we flip the parts around this way, it'll sound better, then no one's gonna complain because we'll be happier that it sounds better.
Right. Well, I think it's kick-ass. I mean, the last 3 guitar player band I can think of is Skinner. Were they a big influence in your playing?
Yeah.
All right.
And Maiden too, right?
Yeah.
No, but it's totally a necessity. As ironic as it will seem, I will still advise bands out there to try to have as few members as possible.
Right.
But believe it or not, this is us doing it with as few members as possible. Because otherwise, we'd be just putting like really cool riffs on backing tracks, which would suck, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
And 4 guitar players.
4 guitars is just
Unless
how
you
it
want to
goes.
join a band.
Hey,
Then
I'm always up for it. You need a 4th guy? Call me up. I'll do it.
We got it on film.
Let's go.
We got it on film, so now you're contractually bound.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Verbal
Let's do
agreement.
it.
Verbal agreements, yes.
Yeah, let's do it. So, awesome. Let's talk about band influences. Who are you guys influenced by bands? And who are your guitar influences if they're different than your band influences? Because I know my guitar influences are different than the guys' bands that I might be influenced by.
Wanna start off?
Yeah, for me, pretty much Metallica growing up. James Hetfield's riffing was just always there. Dimebag Darrell as well with Pantera. Between the 2 of them, I'd say that's like the focal point of where I got into playing guitar and where I kind of started making my style.
Sure. Any like lead guitar influences?
I'm more of a rhythm guy, honestly. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of great, you're a ridiculous lead guitar player. I've been watching your YouTube videos trying to check that out. John Petrucci is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Uncle John.
Guthrie Govan, I've been checking out lately. He's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Guthrie's
rattling
sick.
off, yeah. But yeah, those
Awesome. What about you, Misha?
Well, John Petrucci's the reason I play a 7. Like,
Awesome.
and he's always been like one of my biggest influences. Like, there was a point in time when I was starting out where I tried to become him, which is where I think I got a lot of my chops. Just learned like every solo I could and every riff I could. There's so many players nowadays who like amaze me. Like a very good friend of mine named Tosin Tosin Abasi.
Tosin.
Like just sit in a room with that guy for like 10 minutes and jam with him. He used to live down the street, so we would jam all the time, and like I learned so much from that. Like guitar influences, like players that like I really look up to though. Like I'd say my top two would be Alan Holdsworth and Guthrie Govan.
Yeah.
Like Alan for everything that's out there, and
Yeah.
Guthrie for everything that's in and tasty. You know,
Yeah.
like, and obviously like I told you, I need your technique, man. Your all picking technique is like
Mojo.
it's like there's nothing else quite like it, man.
It's the ring.
It is the ring.
It's the ring.
And I will
It's
have
the ring
it.
of doom.
Mark my words, I'll have that ring by the end of the night.
It'll have to come off with my finger.
It must be the weight, because I
Yeah.
have a smaller one, and that doesn't really
Yeah,
do the
and then if you
trick.
ever like in the pit and you need to punch somebody and they totally go away with a
I just
skull.
said
never
him.
forget it.
I just cry stranger danger, and he comes to my rescue if ever that happens. So.
What you got?
Jakey Poo.
I started off listening to a lot of Van Halen and in Boston, thanks to my mom, and that kind of like got me prepared for the next set of music I'd get into, which was Pantera, Metallica. So I had a pretty like standard metal upbringing, and that inspired me to pick up the guitar, especially Dimebag's playing, and of course John Petrucci.
Yeah.
And yeah, if it wasn't for him, I really wouldn't have a lot of the technique that I use today. I try to use a lot of his vibrato technique and and all picking, and so really not too much, not too many players, but mostly just like the old stuff and a lot of electronic music and jazz and movies and video game soundtracks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Uncle John, we got to
Yes.
talk about him. Any great stories you can share with us?
No, because I don't want him to call me up and be like, "What's wrong with you? What's the matter?"
Yeah.
Because that is how he talks.
Yeah.
What's the
He
matter?
would. He'd bust out the Italian on me.
Yeah.
But no, man. I mean, like I got to go on tour with Dream Theater for a while, being keyboard tech, and I got to hang out and kind of watch what they do and he does every day, and it was really just super inspiring for my role in Periphery. So I don't have any great crazy stories, but
No, like Thanksgiving, Christmas.
I mean, he's like one of the best bartenders in the world. I mean, that's I can say that. He knows how to make a mean drink. But
That's awesome.
But it's always just we're always laughing about something. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Did you have some good times hanging out and
Absolutely.
showing,
I mean,
trading licks and
the thing
stuff
about
like that?
the thing about that side of the family is that's really like the side of the family that I hang out with the most and I'm the closest with. So I'm always seeing them and talking about music and gear and all that stuff. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, on to another great guitar player, Jeff Loomis. He played on your album, right?
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
This is so random, but this is kind of just shows like how awesome the internet is. Like someone had posted like a link to like I have this site where I post all my demos. soundclick.com/bulb. Someone posted it up on his forum and he checked it out and he sent me an email and he was like, "Hey, I checked out your stuff and I really like it." And that was like a few years back and we've just been like corresponding since. And when he would come to town, we'd hang out and all that. He's the nicest dude ever.
Yeah.
It's like he's such an intimidating looking dude on stage. He's like this metal guitar god, and he's obviously like a ridiculous guitar player. And like off stage, he's like the most gracious, like nice guy ever. Like wow, it's the same dude.
Yeah, he's
but
a big sweetheart.
yeah, no, he really is. He's amazing. And he always said like we always kind of like joked about it. It's like you gotta do guest solo. And then like sure enough like we were like wrapping up the album at the beginning of this year. He's like, "So man, you got a spot for my guest solo?" I was like, "Well, if you're actually serious about it, then yeah, I do."
Yeah.
Up next, want to shred like the master? Rusty Cooley's master classes after the break. Then, scenes from the NAMM show floor. Only on the craziest place for the musically insane.